Yo, 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 yo. You already know, man. You already know, man. We got another week. Yes, sir. We already know it's another week, man. What's up? How y'all guys feeling? You already know it's First Game Podcast, man. It's a good day today, man. Yeah, know your team wins, you just feel real energized. Real energized. I just feel great, man. You know how it is, man. It's First Game Podcast. You know how we getting down today, man. It's season 3, episode 27. Another episode, bro. Shoot. I'm just saying, like, yo, man, hey. I just been feeling real inspired. You know, I've been having a lot of inspiration, man. Been going to work. Been going to the gym. I just got a different mindset nowadays. I just got a different mindset nowadays, man. What's up, bro?
I'm dang. I'm trying to get my camera straight. I'm sorry.
It just, man, be on to another one. But like I was saying, just trying to get, my mindset, just keep going, moving. Everything looking good. Team winning. MAGA winning. It's like, yo, what else can go wrong? What else can go bad? I understand, man, But this is like, that weather through the rain. But, I'm just feeling good today, man. Chat everybody. Y'all can go out there and give your comments. But, you just gotta realize, like, what's going on nowadays, like, with politics, some of this stuff in the world, you just gotta keep an eye on it. It ain't like, don't let it consume you. I understand that. Don't let stuff like ruin your day. Don't let it fuck you up. My bad for the English, my bad for the French. But just don't let it mess you up, man. But pay attention to it. Pay attention to how the world moves. And also, nowadays, you got to realize there's so many outlets that's spewing all kinds of information. Also, do your own research. Don't just sit back and let the information hit you, because everybody gets stuff wrong. Not only that, everybody have their own narrative to explain stuff. We see that everywhere nowadays. People spin certain narratives because they know it would get that click. If I talk about this, if I talk about that, I know people ain't gonna want to read that. If I talk about a white person killing a black person, that's gonna get the click. Sometimes people get consumed on what would get the clicks instead of the information that's being brought out. So I'm gonna exaggerate certain stuff. I'm gonna make stuff, put in my own twist. And that's what you get a lot of reporting going on the news. They starting to twist the narratives. You starting to see it with CNN, NBC. Shoot, sometimes Fox. I'm not necessarily saying Fox give out the wrong bad news, but I'm just saying sometimes Fox will spin the narrative because they know people will watch their news. But also, you can tell the tide is changing because back in the day, CNN was a reliable part of news. People did count on CNN and said, "Oh my God, did you hear about that? Did you hear about that too?" That's not no that's not no outrageous thing. It's been many years I have seen CNN and was like, "Yo, this is this is my news bank." I call it a news bank. But now we got so much independent, you know, journalists that's not getting paid by the big government. That's not getting paid to put out false information. Like a person like me can just hit the block and get the information. A person like me can just hit the block and be inquisitive towards people. It ain't about it ain't about the content that you put out. Sometimes us people we get into this content where we do focus on the views. But me by saying that, man, how y'all doing today? I know I know it's been kind of missing certain people, but that's one thing about this boat. It got to keep going so we get to this, we got to get to this sunshine. And that's what it's going down. We got to get to this sunshine because, all of us have lives. All of us have things to do. Sometimes it get to the point of that dark area in this journey that you look back, you look forward, you're looking like, should I keep moving forward or should I just stop? Some people got to say, I'll catch up to you. And that's all it is, bro. But let's get to the news, man. We might as well get to the breaking news or, news that, everybody want to talk about, man. Trump did it. You know, we've been having a lot of wars, so-called wars, but there's been a lot of peace deals Trump has, implemented. There's been a lot of wars Trump has implemented right now, and it's like I think this might be the most key war that Trump about to get a lot of praise for. We talking about the Israel and the Hamas war. This war escalated in October 23rd. I mean October 7th of 2023. It was an attack on Israelis, which killed 1,195 people. Also took 251 hostages. Um, this invasion also led to 67,000 Palestinian deaths, mostly civilians, according to the Gaza's health ministry. So we having this type of war escalating. So now Trump wanted a Trump 20-point plan, and we are in the first phase of it because this plan was signed on October 9th, where Shalom el Shalem of Egypt followed indirect talks meditated by Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and also U.S. officials like Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner talking about the first phase of this 20-point plan. And the first phase of it is immediate ceasefire, humanitarian relief. And we're talking about, exchanges with prisoners and soldiers, which some people might have be like, ugh. But you heard about that. You heard about the first phase of the 20-point plan?
Uh, nah, actually, that was my first time hearing about it.
Yeah.
When I came in late, I had technical difficulties, man. I had to move around some stuff, but no, I haven't heard of it. But what I have heard so far is, Trump ending the, what was that Palestine, Israel, Hamas, the whole war, Gaza, all of that going on. He brought peace over there,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think there's been another president that's done that. And I thought it was a little weird. I was hearing a video of Barack Obama talking about the peace that's happening in the Middle East,
Yeah.
but it's like he refused to mention like it was caused by the U.S. or Trump is the reason why that peace is being made, and I just thought that was a little weird. But
How do you feel about when these type of peace deals that are made, but they have a certain condition where one party is releasing, shoot, dangerous people, fugitives, and one party is releasing hostages. How do you feel about those type of terms and conditions in a peace plan?
well, it's just part of the plan to me.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, because you want both sides to come to an agreement, and unfortunately, in those areas, you have hostages and you have terrorists.
True.
Now, I don't think it's the best option to release a bunch of terrorists, prisoners that people that was terrorists back into just being out free. Um, I think that may be a little alarming because if I mean I'm just think about it like this:
Yeah.
all of those people that were terrorists that were locked up over there, and now that they're free, it's like why wouldn't they continue doing their terroristic duties? You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So it's like, yeah, it sounds good that there's an agreement that hostages getting released and and their prisoners getting released, but who are these people that's getting released? Because aren't these the people that got arrested for doing terrorist, terrorist? I can't even talk. Terroristic things,
For real though. For real, because it's like I think Biden got some scrutiny when um, he had that hostage, not hostage, the same, but when the Brittany Griner was locked up, and they
Yeah,
basically had a prisoner exchange. Well, wasn't he supposed to be like some
the
hacker?
master.
Was he like a hacker or something?
Now this guy was the master. I think his nickname was like the Master of Death or something like that.
He was a
Um,
very, he
yeah,
had some felonies on his belt. He
well,
did
he
a lot
was
of
one of the
crime.
most notorious killers, and so they thought
Yeah,
a lot of people thought it was weird that we're trading Brittany Griner, someone who allegedly hates America. We're trading her
fact.
for a notorious murderer that we had locked up. So it's like, damn, these are some weird trades, but I guess at the end of the
It's
day,
it,
that's kind of like what what they're into.
it's a part of negotiation. Like that's one
Yeah,
thing that has, that's kind of like the foundation of America. You know, when America had all these states, when we was buying states, some of these like the Louisiana Purchase, Like all these were compromises that we just set in and said, "Yo, we gonna give, we gonna let go. Simple as that. We gonna shoot. Y'all get this point of land, we get this point of land, and let's just build from there. Let's just have a plan, a peace plan, or a compromise that's gonna be set in place. Because at the end of the day, war is not the great answer. War stop shit. War fuck up shit. Right now, you could tell that Trump looking at Gaza. It's crazy how like isn't it like it's supposed to be like a strip of land?
Yeah, something like that.
It's crazy how like this strip of land is being fought over, but at the same time, it's like yo, it could be a possible money grab for people. It could be a possibly a economic boost for people. And
Well,
Trump's looking at the
the
business part of it.
well, the original owner of that land, it predates, like biblical times,
Okay,
damn near. So it's like,
so it's like a
uh,
historic place.
yeah, like none of us really know the correct answer,
Yeah.
but those people are saying, that was their land by birthright. That's
Hmm.
the information I've gotten from it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, uh, part of Hamas are terrorists. And not all of Hamas are terrorists.
True.
Let me say it again, people. Not all of
Not all.
Hamas are
Yeah.
terrorists. But unfortunately, some of the most vicious terrorists that come are from Hamas.
Or hiding behind Palestinians, civilians.
Yeah. So I get it. I understand the uproar about what was going on, but it's like it's a very complex situation.
Facts. So that's why at this point we at the first phase of the 20-point plan, Trump 20-point plan, and the first this is the goals and conditions right now that's being introduced. That's actually in act right now. Hamas is to release all 20 living Israel hostages and remains of deceased. Um, Israel is to release 250. Check this out. Life sentence Palestinian prisoners.
Exactly, which were once terrorists.
Yes. So, and this could be for like security offenses. Um, 100 to the West Bank, 135 to Gaza, exile, and also 1,700 post October 7th detainees, including 22 minors.
Yeah. That's why I say, like, it sound good, having a peace deal and they, coming to an agreement. But it's like when you look at the part of the agreement, it's like, damn, what's going on here? Because it's like you're releasing all of these prisoners where, like I just mentioned earlier, most of these prisoners
Hmm.
were like terrorists before they became prisoners. And you think they just gonna like go back to a war torn home, everything blown up, and they're just gonna be okay with it and not want to retaliate.
And that's also more of the conditions where it said Israel's forces to withdraw to 53% Gaza control, frozen front lines. So this might mean like a state line. Don't cross this state line. Stay where you at, or you will be violation. You might just get shot down, point blank. You who knows what the violating part might be. Um, it said age surges to pre January 2025 levels. They're gonna continue to put food, water, medical distribution of red crescent Wi-Fi crossing opens, multinational monitoring. And I think that's the key right there, where you see there's going to be frozen front lines, but there's also going to be enforced. It's going to be Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, but no U.S. boots on the ground. So it's going to be on some like, that's why it is a key part that's valuable for us to have certain type of allies in this world, because we really can't be watching the whole world. We can't watch the whole United States, or we can't watch the whole world. So we got to have certain allies that was trying to create peace too. Hopefully that go out right. But we know that some of the hostages right now that are being released, Trump is flying right now to the Middle East. But this is the thing, this is a big talk right now. Everybody is like having to talk about like, yo, since he did this, he probably like 9 out of 10 of peace deal this year. I probably got a number off, but he's doing a good number for peace deal this year. And he was also in the running for the Nobel Peace Prize, which he came short of Maria Corina Machado. Um, the reason she got it was because she had tireless efforts and promote of democratic rights and fight dictatorship in Venezuela, which a lot of people was like using that as an example of all this socialism that's trying to be indoctrinated in America by people like Mandani. So she got the Nobel Peace Prize. But hey, once again, people, what they say, the ball don't lie, and people ain't gonna lie either. She ended up donated to Trump.
Well, he deserved it. Hey, are you reading an article?
Uh, well, not right now, like Grok.
Uh, true. I was about to say, shoot, man, share the screen. Yeah.
Um, but
But
what's your comments on that? Or you got any comments? But
I mean, I don't know too much about her, but I did hear about her receiving Nobel Peace Prize, and she gave it to Trump instead. Which shoot, I agree with the gesture from her. I agree with. I feel like he was someone that may have been deserving of that prize. So I think that was a good gesture for her to give it to Trump instead of taking it for herself.
I just feel like that too, though, because it's like, yo, like we can go down the list of peace deals that Trump has, implemented right now. It's like, yo, like regardless, like back in the day, I was a Obama, voter, and I did not really pay it. I wasn't paying attention to the Nobel Peace Prize and how much important it was for, you know, what it stands for. And then just to, find out that he got it because he was just basically black and giving out good speeches. But you look at this person, you look at Trump and what actual, you know, peace deals that he has implemented. You look and you be like, dang, like it's kind of not. It's kind of like hurting the fact of like, dang, like all these sort of Nobel Peace Prize are just given away. Is this like a DEI tool too? Because you never know. Like you never know. But. We can go down the list of what, Um, we can go down the
No,
list.
it ain't. I don't think it's DEI too. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't think that got nothing to do with it. But
yeah,
shit, I mean, the lady won it, but and she decided to nominate it. Give it, donate it to Trump. So I feel like that was, like I said, that was a great gesture. If it was somebody that should have won, I'm assuming it should have been him,
fact,
especially
man.
for like doing the peace deal and doing some of the things that he's done.
Fact, because you can go in February, Siberia and Kosovo normalization. That happened in February, where the U.S. brokered economic ties. You can go in Egypt and Ethiopia. That was in March 2025. They resolved tensions in Grand Ethiopia Renaissance Dam to where, through shared water management. You could look at India and Pakistan. That was in April 2025. It was a bio-trail truce along the line of control. It was like a nuclear risk and measures. You could go Rwanda, Democratic Republic of Congo. That was in May. You can look at Cambodia and Thai border disputes. That was in June. The Israel Iran. That was July. The Armenia and Azerbaijan. That was in August 8th. And you're gonna look at present date. That's Israel and Hamas. Like, regardless, man, this man has been working, and he's still trying to get in this Ukraine Russia. It's like at the end of the day, you hear that, it's like, yo, this man has been working on peace. Like, he ain't no. I'm gonna say it like this. He more like he more like Belichick. You look at Belichick, you don't realize like he could be having a cool side about him, but he do look like a coach that's stern and don't have time for bull. And you just look at like he's a hard ethic working person. And you look at these peace deals, I don't think you can put Trump under the he's all about war type of president.
Yeah, yeah, you can't really say that. Yeah, you can't say it's all about war. He's actually trying to bring peace, not just in you know other countries, but also here in America.
Facts, man, facts. But it's just I don't want to take it to the level of they was just trying to disrespect Trump or that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like I don't want to say it's a tool, but it's kind of like was they trying to throw shade to give it to her instead of Trump? Because you got all kinds of people across the world that's actually saying like Trump Nobel peace, Trump Nobel like it's all across the world. This ain't no just us looking at the news. This is people all across the world has been saying like, yo, give that to Trump.
Well, honestly, we just have to dive into it then. So like, well, how do you win that award? Is it voting? Who votes? Or like, what is that process?
Mm,
Because honestly, if like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, she nominated him, like, so she wanted to give her award to
yeah,
him.
she
So
basically dedicated to him, and it was like, wow. It was like, dang, like it was one of them. It was one of them RFK moments when he was in the electoral, like he was in the president race, and he was kind of like dividing votes for Kamala and Trump. And everybody was like, "Well, shoot, if I'm gonna vote for somebody, I'm gonna vote for RFK." Then he was like, "Oh, he went to
Right.
Trump." Then now everybody was like, "Oh, shoot, like I'm gonna vote for Trump." Then if RFK went to Trump, so it's like one of them moments, bro.
Or yeah, or you can look at it as like you remember in the hip hop and award shows when an artist will win an award and they weren't there, but somebody
Mm.
else will like come up stage and take it on their behalf. Shit, yeah, look at it like that. She just Trump really won, but she gave it to him. Everybody know, everybody know the truth. They know
Oh,
who
it
she
said
won.
it said only qualified individual representatives from Pacific um, categories can submit nominations. Self nominations are not allowed. You got elected officials, you got legal experts, you got peace organizations, you got academics, you got previous legislate, you got regular organizations, you got committee members. It's all kinds of people. But in September, that's like preparation. Early February, that's like nominations. February to March, that's like initial screening. They basically like count it down like to 20 to 30 candidates. And it's like March and August, they go in deep reviews. September and early October, you go into a detailed committee deliberations, and it's aimed for uh, unanimity, but use of simple majority vote. And then early October, you announce the liberties, and then December 10th, you do the award. So I mean, man, at the end of the day, man, like you said, if that person got thing win the award and she got passed it to Trump or she passed it off to the next person, that person won. But it just kind of fit. It's kind of looking like one of them political tools to me right now because it's like, dang, like you see all Trump doing all this and they still didn't want to give it to him. But
Hey, I mean, me personally, I don't really know about Peace Award. I get it,
yeah,
but hey, because I don't even know what that lady did to get the Nobel Peace Award.
yeah, she just had like she spoke in Venezuela. She spoke against what all the problems they have in Venezuela, especially with socialism, especially with communism. And I guess she spoke. I guess she spoke against that so articulate that she won the Nobel Peace Prize. But let's get to the next one, man. It's just I just want to bring that up because it's like you starting to see a lot of people that's not a fan of Trump and they don't want to give it to him because they just don't like him.
Man, they ain't gotta be a fan of him. I mean, that's why I say you have Republicans. That's why you have different parties because
Yeah,
everybody don't like everybody not gonna have the same agreements on every issue. So you have like Republicans, Democrats, people that's independent, like Green Party. Like that's why those are a thing. So I
it's
get
it's
it,
more it's
but
more like it's more like when back in the day, you remember Megan Thee Stallion got shot, and then when she went on all these awards and stuff, everybody was just giving it to her. Especially when Lil Baby he had an incredible album, and then he still didn't get that award because they still was trying to give her the sympathy for her getting shot in the foot by a man and her being a survivor. It was like around that time. It was like people is just trying to look around the fact, but
I get
Hey,
that, but I just want there to like be an understanding that like I know that everybody's not just going to support Trump. I
yeah,
mean that's why I said that's the reason why we have different parties.
yeah. It's that voting shit too, man, because everybody don't get that vote, man. Everybody don't get that vote, man. He didn't get that vote, but at the end of the day, hey, she swerved it. She got there and said, "Come on now. I know I did something straight, but give it to the right person." Hey, but at least we know this another war ended. So you can say all what you want to say. Even if you can say, hey, he's still causing stuff in the United States, but that's another conversation we got to get to. But at the end, let's get to the next one. Y'all remember the Palisades fire? Y'all remember the Palisades fire and what it did? You know, I'm talking about 23,000 acres were burned, nearly 7,000 structures were destroyed. 12 people lost their lives in this fire. They solved it. They found the person that did it, and we got the news clip to show who is this guy.
Of ATF's Los Angeles Field Division. Today marks a significant moment in a long road to justice for our community. After more than 8 months of tireless, meticulous work, I stand here with our partners, proud to announce an arrest in connection to the devastating Palisade fires that claimed lives, destroyed homes, and shook this community to its core. Jonathan Rindernesh, age 29, residing in Melbourne, Florida, was taken into federal custody by ATF special agents, a Los Angeles City Fire Department investigator, and a Los Angeles police detective. This partnership and arrest is significant in the three agencies working hand in glove to get this investigation to where it is. Rinderneck, as the U.S. Attorney mentioned, is charged under Title 18-844F, malicious destruction by means of a fire of real property owned by an organization receiving federal financial assistance. I know this community has endured a long wait for answers. Families have carried an unmanageable grief, and an entire community has been left to heal while living with questions. Although we cannot share every detail of this investigation, it is still an active investigation, and judicial proceedings remain ahead.
What was it? Um,
Hmm.
let's get down to the details, man. This is Jonathan Rick Rickeneck. I don't know how to say his name, but 29-year-old. He's a former Uber driver from Florida, and he was arrested October 7th, 2025. He was charged with federally maliciously starting a blaze using a lighter on a hiking trail. Key evidence introduced when he had a chat GBT generated image of a burning city on his phone, linking him to an arson.
Mm. It was the one to set a city on fire, basically.
Set the whole city afire. Everybody then. It's more. I mean, sometimes like you do gotta wonder, like, yo, like he just had a chat GPT generated image and a lighter. You think that would be like key evidence to be like, oh yeah, he did
No, but
it.
it depends on. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more evidence. I hope, but because I don't even know how they even called him. But so that's the guy that allegedly started the fires at the were there forest fires as well, or just fires in the city?
It's basically a forest fire, but California got a lot of, I think California got a lot of nature around it. That's why it's always
Mm.
been in disputes about how California is basically what's the word I'm looking for, man? Like um, keep it together. That's
Yeah, I
why
get
Trump.
it.
That's what Trump was always trying to tell people, like, yo, you gotta do something with the riverbed. It was no with the forest beds because California pumps so much energy. They have wires just on the ground and stuff, and it's been hard to um, maintain. It's been hard to maintain around California because they got so many regulations towards the wildlife. Oh, y'all can't come through here because y'all might kill birds, and that's a regulation that y'all don't have. That's a regulation violation. Oh, y'all can't get water from the pond because it might kill fishes. So everybody left it alone. Everybody was like, shoot, well,
Mm. Well, yeah. If he did it, he should be arrested. Honestly.
it said he was nabbed after 9. It said a month federal probe by the ATF zeroed in on him as the guy who sparked the Richmond fire. It first kicked off from two Uber passengers who drove around New Year's 2024. They said it seemed super agitated and pissed off right heading to Skull Rock Trail in Pacific Palisades. He used to live where they're a block away. And he said after he drove a ship, after he got off from a ship of doing Uber, he dropped off somebody nearby apart. And he hiked up and spotted called. He hiked up to a spot and it was called a hidden Buddha, and it was a clearing where he knew very well where his phone and GPS pinned him exactly where the fire's origin around midnight on January 1st. God damn, you did all that on New Year's?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So they were
So,
digging up his phone and they found videos of early flames, firefighters, fighting the call, plus even screen recordings of him making 911 calls, and he tried to manipulate it. He said he tried to manipulate times up and had a crappy signal, and they finally located down to a neighbor, and the neighbor had already reported it, and he blasted a French rap track about burning the fire.
uh,
He
so he
made
want he wanted to get caught.
there you go. Once again, another rapper talking about burning the fire. Then they also said he did the Google. Basically, he did the fire, made a track, thought he was gonna blow up. Somebody was like, "Hey,
Ah, that's the stupidest thing in the world.
that is how it be, bro. Everybody want to make it some type of way."
So he started this fire and made a song about it. That's retarded, man. Yeah, send him to jail.
Go on ahead, lock the key. We ain't got no time for that, man.
Yeah, that was just stupid. All those homes and properties got destroyed because he wanted to become a rapper. Yeah.
There's a lot of dumb rappers around here like that though. Like they'll kill about 25 people, and then now they want to make a hot track
Yeah.
called "Burn Them Fools." But we got another burning case, which really is under investigation right now.
Uh,
Did you ever hear about the judge Deanne Goldstein? Um, Goldstein is the husband to former state senate Arnold Goldstein, and they was rushed to the hospital because of this dangerous fire. And the reason I also bring it up is because a lot of these people are trying to use this as a talking point for a political violence, even though it's a current investigation. And also, the fire people um, had also stated that there was no foul play, there was no arsonist, clues to this fire. But a lot of people are trying to put this under. Um, they're trying to put this under a far right attack because this judge, I think this judge,
You can hear this thing burning.
Alright, so let me read this real quick. So the police have a hold on, scroll back up.
right,
Yeah, so the police have launched an investigation after South Carolina Judge Diane Goodstein's Edisto Beach home burned to the ground after an apparent explosion. Good, is it Goodstein or Goodstein?
good time problem.
Goodstein's husband, former state senator Arnold Goodstein, was rushed to the hospital along with other family members.
Yeah,
J- Judge Goodstein was walking on the beach when the fire started. Her husband Arnie was in the house with children and perhaps grandchildren, said South Carolina Chief Justice John Kittredge. The family had to escape by jumping from a window or balcony. Damn. I'm told there were injuries from the fall, such as broken legs. Sheesh. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is currently investigating the fire to see if there is any evidence of arson. Uh, yeah, it should be some evidence of arson.
yeah, that's what people thinking, but they already stated that there was no foul play involved. There was no arsenic clues. But the only reason people was trying to pin this to a political violence because this judge in March 2025 um, made a critical ruling towards President Trump. Um, Basically, President Trump issued an executive order aiming preventing non-citizens from registering to vote, and this practice was already illegal under the federal law. As a part of the initiative, the U.S. Department of Justice requested their vote and registration files from states, including South Carolina. The South Carolina Election Commission considered releasing these files, which contains personal data and millions of voters, prompting a lawsuit. So on September 15th, the South Carolina Circuit Judge, Diane Goldstein, issued a temporarily injunction blocking the state from handing over voting files to the DOJ. This specifically halted the release of personal data such as name, addresses, and vote information towards Trump. And she argued for her decision was, this data can cause immediate irreparable damage towards voters' privacy, emphasizing the risk of data breaches, targeted harassment, and politicize the use of information against individuals. So she made that decision towards Trump. And a lot of people speculate this was a political sort of violence targeted to her.
Yeah, it probably was. Shit.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah, nowadays you do got to be aware of certain things that go down. I
Yeah.
just I just don't want to because you don't want to just hurry up and be like, oh yeah, it was somebody on the other side that did it. That's what is kind of like getting a whole lot of discussion about what are political violence, what is political violence, and all everything is considered political violence. Because we do got to have that discrepancy right now because everything ain't political violence. We talk about it every day. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and it do get to a point of political fatigue where people be like, "Come on, bro, you think this person got shot over conspiracy theories?" Like, come on, bro.
Yeah. I mean, but stuff do be happening. I
True,
mean,
true.
some of these conspiracies are true. When you found out, like, for example, like, shit, some people say that America faked the 9/11 attack,
True.
or at least knew about it happening.
Yeah.
Some people say that Israel knew that it was gonna happen, but it's just conspiracies. Can't really prove it. But
Sure can. You sure can. But it's like this where the scrutinize really comes from. It comes from when like we see stuff that happened to Charlie Kirk, and it's more like that's the connection. This person had this political view, so that's why he did it. You look at Melissa Hartman.
I think I don't mean to cut you, bro, but I think that nowadays a lot of stuff is it do have
Mm,
political intentions behind it.
yeah.
You know, it's like a power struggle, like a power war. Like it's if a certain person has is like influential or has a certain amount of followers or certain a certain amount of people they can reach out to and spread their message to. If that person don't agree with, let's just say, a certain ideology,
Hmm.
then for some reason, like we've seen throughout history, that they end up getting killed, and it seems like it's to silence that person from going the opposite of what, if there is an agenda, what that agenda is being spread. That's what it looks like. Because you look at Charlie Kirk, for example, like prior to his incident, you know, that was a time period where tra- transgenders, were
Getting
wanted
scrutinized.
wanted to be equal, and there was like had a lot going on with the ideology in schools, dealing with children and playing the
Hmm.
sports with women. A lot of that was going on, and then when you get somebody like Charlie Kirk that's influential, and he's like explaining to these people why this is good, why this is bad, and why this shouldn't be happening. Um, I feel like he was taken out to so that message could stop.
Yeah. True.
So I think if that can happen for that particular issue, why can't it happen for another political issue?
I mean, I understand that it's a lot of things that's going on. Like I think right now the political awareness is probably on this all time at a scale of 1 to 10. It's on its 10. Everybody is. I ain't gonna say everybody. I'm gonna say mostly everybody. I'm gonna say a good number of 75% of people is political aware now of what's going on.
Mm,
But I'll just say right now, it's kind of like you kind of getting shuffled through malicious attacks and political motivated attack. Yeah, the Charlie Kirk was an attack, but everything that lined up afterwards may not have a connection towards the person's political ideology. They could just be a crazy person. They could just be just like how we talked about with the Iran Sariska thing. Like people turned it into political because when they found out the backtrack of certain judges was letting these people out, then it became political. Sometimes we do have to have that type of sense of look at like this person ain't like, does it really matter this person is a MAGA? Or does it matter this
mm,
person was a liberal? let's just say this was a malicious crime. We do got to get back to that because a lot of these people are using that for a talking point. And that's why I brought it up because people on the left are using this as a target point to say, hey, this judge right here made a ruling towards Trump and her building burned down. Can you say that was a right attack? Now it's another political point saying, oh, your side is violent. Your side is violent.
Well, I guess until the rest of that story comes out, we won't know.
Yeah, true.
But it looks like it could be a political attack.
On God, though. Because it's like coincidence and timing always be the point of you can't look away from it. You can't look away from it. And plus, she is a mold, like, you could kind of say she is like a politically nominated judge. So it's like right now, it's like the optics is looking like, yo, are you sure the person that, you sure it ain't no fucked up wire in her house, or you sure it wasn't no person that had to get a hit on?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't believe it. I mean, you do have to have it back in your mind. But like you said, man, we gotta just.
We gotta wait till the rest of the story come out.
Yeah, we gotta wait till the rest of that. It sucks that a lot of people on the left are using this as a moment of, yeah, the right did it. And it's like, who knows if the right was involved? Who knows that? But let's get to the next one. Okay, Brandon Johnson. He is the Chicago mayor. And around this time, right in this time, ICE has, it's going very hard of bringing ICE in. One incident that has sparked a lot of conversation that they did an ICE raid through the building, abandoned building where kids was located in. You got some people that's sparking the narrative of ICE zip tying children, black children. But you got this one thing I have a problem with most of this stuff nowadays that's going on in Chicago is some black people nowadays are not realizing the optics of all these immigration things that are happening. Yes, the Democrats, they want illegal people here, but the rich liberals, the rich white liberals, they don't want the illegals in their neighborhood. You know what they did? They said, put it with the blacks. They'll blend in good. We don't have to spend that much money for housing for them. They can go live in a house in the hood, but they don't belong with us. They're good over there. So it's a lot of bad people that's trying to put this in they with us. They talking to black people. They talking to black neighborhoods. And it's like, nah, y'all not looking at the fact that the people that y'all support are putting illegals in your neighborhood. Because they feel like they're not good enough to stay in their neighborhood. So they're going to put them in the ghetto, in the black, with the blacks. But I just hate that it's a black mayor like this that's trying to spark up, I ain't going to say imbalance, but he's trying to shuffle the black people with illegal immigrants.
Hi, Mayor. Hi. I know you're going to talk about the Texas Guard, Illinois Guard, but can you give us a little bit about what your next steps could be to fight that?
Well, look, our corporate counsel has been in constant communication with our Attorney General for several months now. And I just wanted to offer this up. A couple of years ago, I said very candidly that the right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. I want that to sit in right now, because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America.
That's right.
He's more interested in giving billions of dollars to other nations, while farmers in urban cities around this country are literally being destabilized. And so whether it's the legal system, whether it's through executive order, or whether it's through the brave women and men who are serving as rapid responders. We literally have people who are volunteering in this city, on the southwest side, the northwest side, all over this city, to make sure that we're protecting children from being separated from their families. And we're talking about volunteers who are literally putting themselves at risk of being shot and killed by the federal government. And so whether it's the legal system, whether it's our continuous struggle for liberation through organizing, and whether it's through executive action, or whether it's through law, it would be nice if we actually had lawmakers in Washington that would actually hold this president accountable. And if they won't do it, then the city of Chicago will, using every single tool that's available to us.
I mean, I just, one thing I do hate, if you really wasn't aware of, like, if you wasn't aware of what liberals present themselves as, some superhero fighting for democracy people, you will get caught up and be like, man, that man right there, he's doing that for the people. He's fighting for the people. But then you realize, you speak about kids getting locked up, which that was false. There wasn't no kids getting zap-tied. You speak about a president that's trying to clean your neighborhood up, which Chicago got the highest crime rate. He don't want to speak on stuff like that. You know his solution about cleaning up Chicago? He need more money. He want more money that's given to him. He feel like the programs is not doing enough, even though, which I'm about to, try to, I found out later on about some of these liberal ran cities, they getting the funding. Yeah. They getting the right amount of money to end crime. It's like, why is the crime not going down? And don't think that throwing money at a situation can help. Yeah, it might can help it might can help a person. It might can. It might can help a person if you threw money at them. But sometimes solving an issue may not be a money problem. That's my whole take on it. It's like, he does speak as if I'm fighting for the people of America. I'm fighting for black people. But it's like, but are you really doing that?
It sound like he, his name Brandon Johnson.
Yeah.
It sound like he's taking what's going on with the illegal immigrants in this country. Let me say it again. It sounds like he's taking what's going on with the illegal immigrants in this country, and it looks like he's trying to combine that with being like a activist for black people, like trying to say that there's war on his neighborhoods and war on his city. And I'm just like, bro, the federal government is trying to stop the crime in your city, because your city is very, very high on the crime list in this country.
Facts.
And I think he's wrong by trying to make the illegal immigrants issues a part of Black American issues. Those are two separate, different issues, and those should stay separate. But when I see a clip like that, that just shows me that some of these Black people are combining these issues that shouldn't be combined.
I agree with that, man. Because you gotta realize, like I said, bro, they not putting these illegals. They not putting these illegals in the best neighborhoods and the best this. They putting them. They saying they're good enough to be with other black people. Because I guess I guess most black people live in poverty, so they got the same respect as an illegal immigrant.
But this the thing, that motherfucker Brandon Johnson needs to be stopped. Cause like that shit is dangerous, bro. Like I said, he's taking illegal immigrants' issues and trying to make them black people's issues. And that's what's causing motherfucking black people to be in a damn uproar or also so opposed to Trump and what he's trying to accomplish in his country because of people like Brandon Johnson's messages that he's presenting. Like, bro, like, stop combining illegal immigrant issues with Black American issues.
Stop doing that, man. Because it's kind of like how I looked at it. It's kind of rare. It's kind of disrespectful the fact that he wanted to bring up the Civil War, and it's like this ain't no Civil War issue. You going behind against criminals that broke the law. This ain't no Africans that was basically kidnapped to work. This ain't that type of issue. That's a part of our history that has been corrected. Now I don't know if it's been settled, but it has been corrected. But don't try to put that and say, "Oh, this is basically like what happened in the Civil War, where we had to fight for freedom for illegal immigrants." No, that's not the damn same. We talking about a group of people that are taking jobs that was messing up the labor pay for Americans like us. We couldn't find no jobs, and the jobs weren't paying good. We had a legal immigrant that was working that job for the lowest of all money, fucking up the labor pay. Because what companies were doing? Shoot, if I can make him work for $13 an hour, that's good for me. So don't try to put it on some like Africans wanted to come over here and just be slaves. No, that's why we had the war, because history also showed that not that many people owned slaves. They said it was like less than 1%. Less than 1% is like comparable to an NFL team. It was less than 1% of people that did have slaves. But the people who in the South that who had slaves, guess what they was? They was Democrat. Republicans was the ones that spoke about um, ending slavery. Thomas Jefferson was the one who made an article saying that, doing that to certain people is not right. We got to correct it. Only two states that came along and said something about it. I think it was South Carolina and Georgia. That's history right there. But one thing I do realize about these democratic cities, this is my hypothetical, learning that I found out, just off some research. I looked up, first I looked up the top most dangerous cities: Memphis, St. Louis, Detroit, Birmingham, Alabama, Little Rock, Cleveland, Baltimore, New Orleans, Now, I think Baltimore is in a red state, or I think it's a red city. Milwaukee, Kansas City. You can look at Memphis. That's blue. St. Louis, blue. Detroit, blue. Birmingham, blue. Blue, blue. Basically, most of all these cities are blue. And you realize why all these blue Democratic mayors are such against. Most of these people are probably such against crime in their city. I ain't gonna say Memphis because the Memphis mayor has cooperated. No, the Memphis governor has cooperated with Trump on, solving these issues. I'm not sure about the mayor. But you got to realize why our Democrats are so eager to be against Trump on, solving the crime issue. It's because of the money, what they're getting from it. Look at this, Memphis. They get
And
200. Yeah,
and also it makes them look like they don't know how to, properly take care of their city.
facts. They don't want that to be shown to people in the world. You got to look at Memphis. Memphis get $250 on police services out of a $682 million budget. 20 million enhancements. I'm gonna see that. But citywide crime reduction strategy plan. That's 20 million in re-enhancements, including special traffic units and 20% wide crime drop. Then you got 100 million for Memphis Safe Task Force for violent crime. 100 million. Then you got 75 million for violent crime. St. Louis, they got 131 million dollar out of 1.2 billion budget. Then you look at Detroit, 45 million out of a $3 billion. They said it increased of 13.6 from the 2024 from officer hiring in out of 1925 recruitments and violent prevention. State Public Safety Fund. These are the top. These are the top violent cities in America, and look how much money is being implemented for public safety. 150 in Birmingham out of a 591 budget. I can go on a list, but that what made me realize like that's the reason. That's the reason why some of these Democratic leaders do not want Trump to basically stop the crime because they'll lose funding. When your city is safe, when the crime drop, let's take some money out right quick. And that might be the reason why Trump is so adamant on making this city safe because there's so much money being dumped in these cities.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But that was just something I just looked in because I look at my city, my own, and we are heading to that point of a lot of these people are starting to look at our city as like, boy, what's going on down there? what they got going on? Because I
Yeah, the
got
crime is definitely shot up. A lot of crime is increased, especially in the uptown area. Um, yeah, just you see the numbers don't lie, man. In these blue cities, or if you don't know what blue means, you're talking about liberal based cities.
mm-hmm,
Um, there's a lot of crime in these cities, and so the Trump administration, is actually trying to fix this issue because we have people that often say, "Oh man, it's bad in this area, it's bad in this city, it's bad in that city," and nobody ever does anything about it. Um, maybe it wasn't enough police. Maybe it could be a variety of things that went wrong
Yeah,
to get these cities in the predicament they're in now when it comes to crime. But it's like at the end of the day, at some point, somebody has to make an effort to try to make a wrong right. Whatever what's wrong with right, fix what you can. Like if you can, we have the money, have the resources, have the federal agents, you have the everything that you need to make a difference, then just at least try. And I see Donald Trump trying. I didn't see Barack Obama or maybe even George Bush or even Biden. I didn't see them um, trying to stop crime in America.
thanks.
I just I don't recall seeing them trying to help prevent crime in America, but I do see Trump doing something about it. I see Trump making an effort to reduce the crime in some of our most loved cities.
Thanks. This is the last thing I'm gonna show about this mayor. And I got like a couple more stories. I'm gonna go out there and wrap it up. But this is basically this is basically the comment people of Chicago had to say about Mayor Brandon Johnson.
This morning I heard Mayor Brandon Johnson say that the sentiment in the black community is waning. A lie. The sentiment is not waning. We are not okay with you taking our resources and giving them to people who don't live here. As Mark stated before, you are preparing housing for them. One of the reasons that the city of Chicago was able to close 50 schools was because of the black flight. And the reason we had a black flight was because there is no affordable housing in this city. It is because the city of Chicago shut down the voucher system so that blacks who needed to get affordable housing could not. So they had no choice but to flee to other states. But now you found money for the migrants. That's right. We're calling foul. And then another thing you said was that the faith-based leaders were helping to bring around the sentiment. We haven't paid attention to faith-based leaders since Dr. Martin Luther King. And guess what? We're not listening to them now. We understand that they are bought and paid for. We understand that you control the narrative that they are trying to speak about. So let me just say this to you. We're not listening to them the same way we're not listening to you. What you're doing is not okay.
Whoa.
She went in, didn't she?
Nah,
But
hey,
yeah,
that's
bro. It's like at the end of the day, it's like, bro, that shit ain't right. Like, don't take away from me and give to people that don't even belong in this country. And it is what it is. Like, and I know that some people may say that sounds mean, that sounds rude, but no. Um,
that sounds right.
if I'm a born American citizen and I need help and there's help available, but you're telling me that I can't get it, but then you give it to somebody that's not even from here, I'm gonna have an issue with that.
I mean, it's like it ain't no like people get the misconstrued with the immigration part. We don't have no problem with immigration. Immigration has always been a part of U.S. history, but there's a process. That's why this whole slavery thing, this was, something that was corrected. Yes, back in the day, they forcefully, I don't know, forcefully took some slaves or black people to work, but that was a problem. that had to be corrected. Nowadays, that's a whole process to become a citizen in this country, and you have to follow by it. But many of these Democrats try to go around that process because it's in the name of being a good American person. And then one thing that you can say about these liberals, these rich white liberals, it might be other liberals, but you can say about these rich white liberals, they the ones who starting the big fuss, and they the ones who will look at your skin and say, "Oh, I don't think he's smart enough to know what's going on." So what they do, they'll get some immigrants. They got immigrants because they realize many voters nowadays are starting to see the light. Is it racist for her to say that Martin Luther King was a corrupted politician or a corrupted person? Was it racist for her to say that, even though she black?
All she said was we haven't they hadn't listened to anybody since Martin Luther King. She didn't say he was a corrupt
I'm
politician
just saying
or none of that, man.
I ain't saying I could have overreached, but she did stated that she had stopped listening to people that was like that because she realized certain people was shooting narratives out just to control people. That was her whole stance, and it happened to be Martin Luther King. Was it her racist
She
to say that?
used Martin Luther King as an example of like that was the last good one that she trusted.
Oh, you took it as last good one.
Yeah, that was the last good one that she trusted. Everyone after that has been pretty much paid and brought off.
Okay. But she still was saying that certain people was is corrupt at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
some people has woken up to that and it's like, no, we're not about to keep on going to the direction and we're not about to have y'all people think that we're too stupid to find out or to look. One
Yeah,
thing
it's just simple, bro. Like shit. Why keep voting for the same group that's not doing nothing for you? Just simple.
facts, man. I just but that those are Chicago those are black people in Chicago. I ain't gonna say they are all black people, but from people from that city, they are speaking towards Mayor Johnson on that. And that's one thing you do got to signify about Chicago. Yes, the black people can speak, but when you're a minority and you got cities like Charlotte that got numerous of white liberals, they're going to beat out their vote because many of us black people don't even try to sign off on the districts or try to vote for districts. So that's when the fight that still is still going. That's why they say the fight is still going when you elect that president. Yeah, electing the president, that's the start. But when you start pulling up districts and city mayors, that's when the fight is still going. Some people think that just getting the right president in the house is good enough. No, we gotta sometimes go into the city and get the right person to run it. That's how you win the battle. Yeah, the president is a good way to start to win, but if you want to end the war, you're gonna have to vote somebody. You're gonna have to vote for the right person in your city. And speaking of my city, I got two crimes and we're gonna be out, bro. You probably haven't came across this one. I'm talking about LaTwain Daryl Tate.
Lil
You probably
Twain.
Lil Twain. You already know if you haven't, you ain't been living in the rock in Charlotte. LaTwain Daryl Tate was a 48-year-old bus driver for Sugar Creek Charter School in Charlotte. He was arrested September 30th by the CMPD against um, crime against children. Tate is also known as Miss Sharon and Sharon. This person faced multiple felony charges relating to sexual offenses against minors, including 2 counts of statutory rape, 6 counts of indecent liberties with a minor, and 1 count of statutory sex. The allegations involve at least 4 teenage boys, 14 to 15, who Tate allegedly lured to his residence with offers of alcohol, marijuana, and money in exchange for sexual acts. None of these incidents are believed to have occurred on school property while Tate was driving a bus. Authorities suspect there may be additional victims and urge anyone to contact the police. Tate appeared in Mecklenburg County Court on October 1st, where appointed public defender and a judge denied bail and remained in jail for $1 million secure bond. Um, the school suspended him during the probe and terminated his employment September 28th. Um, and that's why like I'm a resident in Charlotte. When I heard about this, it struck me because I have a whole lot of sun now, and you realize there are predators out there. There are predators out there that ride the bus, that get jobs like school bus drivers that will look at your kid and want them. That's why, once again, we got to make these cities safe again. Not only for criminals, from goddamn predators, from child predators. Because I don't want my kid to be growing up. I don't want my kid to be growing up in a hostile environment where a bus driver looking up and down. My child, yeah, I got a son, but we also can make girls too. And that's a problem that has been growing in CMS too, where some of these teachers are messing around with children. And that shit's starting to stop. That shit gotta stop. Fuck that. I don't care. I don't care what anybody say. That shit has gotta stop. We gotta get to the point to make this damn city safe for our kids. We gotta step in and make this shit safe for our kids. Not even for us. We grown adults, but for our kids.
Listen, this guy name was, what was it? Lil what Twain?
Lil Twain, Darrell Tate.
Lil Twain Tate, bruh. Under no circumstances should a man that identifies himself as a woman and dresses up as a woman, I don't think that they should be allowed to teach kids in school or be bus drivers or really work in schools in general. I don't think that should be allowed because it leaves room for incidents like this. This guy that identifies as a woman taking advantage of young kids. They're sick, and I don't think these people should be, like I said, allowed to work in or around schools. Lil Twain
Yeah, my
Tate.
shit just fucked up. Oh, I thought my shit
Look at that
fucked
picture, man. Like, why would you allow
up.
that man to like be around kids, man? That's crazy.
That's what I want to see. Did he have prior
It looked like a dude
records
just
of?
put on a wig.
Hey, that's exactly what it was, bro. You don't see, man.
And shaved off
I
his
just don't.
eyebrows.
I just don't. It do make you mad because it's like this whole liberal thing is starting to be a ick because these people are not looking at the optics of like it ain't on some prejudice shit. It's just on some like, yo, do you think this person look like they should be around kids? I'm not saying that it's like, man, it's getting like
Oh,
I
it
do.
ain't Lil Twain. It's Lil Twan,
Man, I
right?
don't know what it is. Lil Twain, Lil Twan. This motherfucker should not been around kids.
Yeah,
But
true.
I'm actually seeing, I'm trying to look up that this person had prior incidents. And they said that he had no prior incidents, crime incidents, you know. So I guess he had a clean record to get this job.
Yeah, but still though, man, it's like
Well, okay,
it's these
that
people, bro. It's these people that be a that be men that identify as women. It be those group of people that are doing these type of things, bro. When
and
it
then
comes to
that's you're right. You're right. My
it's
bad for
like
cutting
it
you off.
just
You're right.
it's the proof is in the pudding. Like you can't deny it. These are the people that's doing it, and
You are
so
totally right, man.
that person needs to be held accountable for the laws they you know committed, they broken.
It is starting to be like a reoccurrence of transgenders or trans. I don't know what that was, drag queen, whatever. It is starting to be like you can hear from other cases too of certain trans that are desperate for love, so they looking at a boy and trying to question his sexuality, which you shouldn't even be questioning. Let that boy live. Let that boy be a young boy. Let that boy be a child. Let that boy, grow. But they so desperate for love. It seems like in the school system is getting to that point too, because you is starting to hear that a gym teacher had indecent liberties with a student. And it's
Hmm.
like like y'all are the people that is around kids all the time. You telling me these kids are that attractive? Oh, y'all trying to make this shit into a minor attracted school, minor attracted person school? Oh, that's what maps mean.
It's, that's crazy.
I just get real outraged when I look at it because it's like, bro, that always been like, has always been looked frowned upon. You don't mess with no kid, bro. You don't look at
Yeah.
no kid that type of way. Everybody in my neighborhood, we babysit kids, and we ain't never had no, we ain't never had nobody blame something of us doing wrong to a kid. All of us is good with kids. All of us is good are good parents. We ain't never had no time where this person might have touched this person. Now I ain't gonna say everybody in my neighborhood, but you do got a small percentage of motherfuckers like no, bruh. We look at that shit like hell no. You know that
Yeah.
you know that's a little kid.
Yeah. Why you even talking to that kid? That shit crazy.
But it's kind of fucked up because we hear about how people are targeting young men into this homosexuality life, and then you realize and you're just like, damn, like that shit gotta stop. And if you want to be gay living under my roof, you better get a job and get your own house.
Uh,
For real, man. It's like I ain't got no against no LGBT community or none of that. I'm just saying if my son get to that age that he can know what decision he making, he'll make that
yeah.
decision. But till then, I don't want him to be going to a school where you want to read a book about Ben and Jerry and his adopted son. No, what?
Uh,
You got this from the school fair?
Two guys raising a kid.
I don't want to hear, but I don't know. And this
Two
the
men
last
raising a kid.
exactly, bro. Like that's the shit that is getting alarming. Like let's just inform the kids about the LGBT community. No, if you a math teacher, teach my son math.
Yeah.
If you teach literacy, teach my son some English. But other than that, he don't need to know what the fuck your preference is. He do not need to know if you have a husband. If you miss Sharon, you should have stayed as Miss Sharon. And that's it. Nobody should have known if you was entitled, if you love niggas or not. Even if a kid did look at him as an old woman bus driver, you should have stayed as an old woman's bus driver and kept it as that. Now you got dang Miss Sharon. Oh, let's go to Miss Sharon house. What?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But this is the last one I'm gonna cover, man, because we can go all day with news. But these the last local news that I came upon that it was kind of it's starting to grow. This local news is the recent homicide case that's going down in Charlotte. Um, this is the 29-year-old Quavante Blunt in Charlotte, North Carolina, which happened on September 2nd, 2025, where the suspect um, Sanchez Nicholas, which he was 30. Um, he was arrested. He was arrested October 7th, and a lot of people are eyeing this one once again as a talking point because Nicholas has a lengthy criminal history. Guess the number how many times he been arrested?
Oh, 91.
Damn, 91. Yeah. Hey, but you 1/3 off. He has had 33 prior arrests,
Sheesh.
multiple attempted murder charges. Man,
33 arrests is insane.
yes. And
Like how
that's
you
why,
how you even like how you even out in public with 33 arrests?
and that's why people are, that's why, that's why a lot of people is eyeing the system now. That's
Mm-hmm.
why is it a good thing to release a black man that has prior arrests and say he give him a second chance or the
Man,
system the system is already tearing you down. Let's just give him one more chance.
I
Is it good
don't
for that?
think that man, no, man. 33 goddamn arrests? That's insane.
It's
Like,
wild.
I don't want to hear no black person say they oppressed. this
It's getting to
guy,
the. That's all. Yeah,
this
that's what.
guy
That's what you gotta
was
look at.
arrested 33 times, bro, and let back out. Like, nah, that was a little joke I said about the, you know, black people being oppressed, but I think that's more of a judicial issue. Like, why is this guy allowed to keep getting arrested? That's 33 times, bro. So in my mind, that's telling me that that person thinks that it's okay to commit crimes because he's just gonna get let back out.
This way is kind of getting alarming too because it's like I'm not trying to make fun of some people in black community or some people in the community feel like that the system is just suppressing him or suppressing them, but it's like the system is getting corrected for where we are treating most of these black people and it's starting not to look good. It's starting to be a bad example of when you do put in certain laws and you do change the way how you look at a person. Is that helping in the community? Is it? Because we starting to have a crime rate in Charlotte that's about to hit the roof. And it's like, yo, like these judges are giving people so many chances to change their life. And they end up killing somebody. And then you got to go back and find out, like, you got to go back. He got 33 prior arrests. Some sources cite 32 or 33, depending on whether the recent murder charge. And they said it go back to 2010 to 2016. They'll spend in those ranges. But his notable prior charges was 2 counts of attempted murder in 2023, occurring just 13 days apart. These charges was dropped, allowing Nicholas to be released prior to the September 2025 homicide. So it's like, and it said the other violent offenses among his arrests was through specific details on other charges, and they could have been assault, drug-related, or property crimes, but they are not itemized in the public reports. Mm-hmm. But it's just like at the end of the day, it's like that shit. And then this was the whole lot of kicker that's letting some of these people out. Some of these people are just getting cashless bonds. And that's when, if I get arrested, you could bond me out if you sign a piece of paper that I'll come back to court without no money. I thought back in the day they used to do that. Back in the day, you used to have to gather up some money before that person get out of jail. Nowadays, cosign, make sure he had the trial.
Wow, that's crazy.
So that's why that arena law was starting to go back. Let's go back to you need money to get this person out.
Yeah, because
we about to have a medical evaluation on this person as well.
Yeah, because being arrested 33 times is insane. Like
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
That shouldn't be happening.
And that's ridiculous. Because you're looking at yourself and you're looking like, yo, I got a clean record and I'm nervous about goddamn going to jail. I don't care how you look at it.
Yeah.
But it's like, yo, you hearing that people are getting in jail 15, 33. But at the third time that I got locked up, I should be trying to make different life choices. I should be trying to like, yo, let me go find a job.
Not true.
Like, that is crazy. But that's when you realize a lot of people are starting to eye. A lot of people are starting to eye Charlotte as a corrupt city. Because you got a lot of people that's running the city that are making too much damn money and not showing results.
Yeah.
They're not getting results. They're not, shoot. If you running the city and you getting paid $30,000, you twice above the pay of what people of a city manager, but your city got a whole bunch of crime. Like you shouldn't be getting paid that much, and we gotta see why you getting paid that much. Because these judges are just letting these guys free. That's basically all I got, man. Final thought. Damn.
Great show, man. Great show, man. We still growing, we still building. Have to be a part. But my final thought, man, is shout out to the motherfucking Carolina Panthers, nigga. We 3-3. You know what I'm saying? We undefeated at home, nigga. We ain't worried about no motherfucking Cowboys. bitch ass Miami Dolphins, bitch ass goddamn Atlanta Falcons. Nigga, we run the NFC, nigga. What wrong with y'all? Nigga, who got a who head? We 500.
Facts, man.
If your team not undefeated at home, you can't talk to me.
Don't talk to me. But you already know, man, my final thought is, man, hey, I'm heading back to Charlotte, North Carolina. We got to do better with the judge system. We got to do better on hiring the right people. CMS is starting to look like a laughing stock. We got to do better with people that's leaving teachers accountable for teaching. We just gotta be more accountable. It's gotta be more accountability towards people who's letting these type of people inside of the school system, because I'm getting tired of hearing sexual crimes. I'm getting tired of hearing teachers I'm tired of hearing that some of these kids are getting low test scores and they coming out my check. It's coming out my money. It's coming out my pockets. So I'm paying you to teach my child to be a better student. You ain't even gotta teach him to be the most outstanding smart student. But it's just the fact that, dang, I'm teaching you to teach my son to get through and get a diploma. Because I want him to get a diploma. But at the end of the day, we gotta make CMS great again. And also make America great again. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Thank you, 2K, for showing up. I know you showed up late. You know what I'm saying? Prayers out to JB and what he's going through. Everybody prayers out to him, because, you know, mental health awareness is real. You can say you ain't going through nothing, but it always going to show. But just give prayers out, man.
And we at?
Nah, I got one more thing, bro.
Man, God.
I'm